Hey YouTube, Shugun Shobi here with a review that's once again too big for my camera frame. So, yeah, this is Project BM. Kamen Rider Kiva form. This is the only Kiva they've made so far, which saddens me a little bit because I love Kiva and would buy any Kiva thing they made of this. But unfortunately, they aren't doing that, and they only released this guy, so gotta start somewhere, so let's just go ahead and go on with it. So here is the box. It's really pretty. It's a really pretty box. We got the Project BM logo, Kiva here. Kiva doing his about to kick you into hell pose. And going downward, we've got the Kiva logo, Master Rider Kiva form, 12-inch action figure. The 7th release from the project, presented by Bandai and Medicom Toy. Hooray. So logo, and logo. I wonder what show this is from. On the back here we've got a really epic picture of Kiva with the wake up whistle being pretty awesome. So I think that would make a really excellent wallpaper. That probably exists somewhere, but I just don't know about it. So anyway, that's about it for the box. For room's sake, I'm going to go ahead and just move the box because I need all the room I can get here. So let's get Terra out of the way. And bring in the figure. He's just laying here. One thing I do want to note right off the bat, he has got very weak ankle joints. So trying to stand him is a bit of a pain. So he likes to do things like topple backwards or topple forwards. I finally got him in a standing position, and I can't get all of him in the camera frame whatsoever. So, we'll go ahead and just start up here. I guess I'll maneuver him backwards, like this, to try to get all the details. So here's his head sculpt. Very, very, very nice. It's a nice, like, matte finish, sort of, but it's, I don't know, it feels nice, I guess. The red used is very kind of metallic and chromish. The eyes are all compound. The head sculpt is like straight. This entire figure is straight out of the show. It is basically like if you took Wataru, pulled him out of the show, and shrunk him down, this is what you would get. Fantastic figure. So the shoulder pads are just on this nice like elastic material, and just glued right on, and it works fantastic. The chains are maybe metal, maybe plastic. It's hard to tell because it's so warm. I can't really tell if it's any colder, but some nice chromed metal chains. I think they're metal. I'm just gonna go with metal. Right there and right there. So no hindrance of any sort with the pads. Yeah, something like that is a bit of a hindrance. Like you can't go straight up in the air, but it's realistic to the suit because they couldn't really do that either, because they would get about caught right about there too. So no real hindrances there. The chest armor right here, as you can see, is very detailed. I mean, basically, it's just the red with the black ribbed lines. The back is done really, really well, and just extremely reminiscent of the actual suit in the show. Really well done. I mean, obviously, this doesn't hinder the head articulation too much, because that's about as far back as you could go. So the armor actually doesn't really hinder all that much. The belt here is a nice red metallic color, really well molded and sculpted. You can even see all the chain design in the belt here, which is absolutely fantastic. The belt itself is really loose, which is great because it's not fitted in anywhere. It can actually maneuver around the body like the actual belt can. And back here you've got more chains on his boot right here, and more chains on his feet. And then these, his ankle gauntlets, when standing straight, help hide the hinge joint right here. So those are really nice. That when the foot's flat, they hide the joint really well. They wiggle around a little bit, which is kind of annoying, but it's not too bad. On the front of the belt here, we've got a little Kiva. He can pop right off and be his own little accessory. He is extremely well done. His eyes have a nice swirly, hypnotic effect. The flessels do fit right in his mouth. So if you wanted to garuru it up, they fit right into his mouth. Or is it backwards? I don't really remember how this goes. It would go like that. So they fit right into his mouth. Really, really awesome. They don't really peg in there. They just kind of loosely sit in there. But for display purposes, that would be okay. Not that I really think it would display this figure like that. And then even looking at this, they even have the entire inside of here all molded and decked out. So absolutely fantastic. He just clips right back in and slides right back down. It's held in by a magnet. So that's pretty neat. The Fuessel holders are really, really awesome. All the Fuessels individually come out. So you have the Wake Up Fuessel, the Castle Duran Fuessel, and these all just peg right in here. They're not tight or anything. They're pretty easy to get out. And the Boron Booster Fuessel, right there. And on the flip side, we have the Garuru Fuessel, the Basha Fuessel, and the Doga Fuessel. So all those are really awesome, and you can hold them too. I'll get to that later. And then down here, we've just got the padded armor right here, his knee pads, and then his ankles right there. The gauntlets are done extremely well. Nice variation of silver and dark gray with the red metallic. And then his boot is just extraordinarily well done. All the chains and stuff just make it look really menacing, and they're really loose. They're not sculpted in or anything. They're actually hanging there. And they just look absolutely, absolutely great. My only flaw right now with this figure is he's got this dot on his crotch. It looks like he pissed himself. That is really the only flaw I have with the figure. I don't know what that is. It's obviously a manufacturing error of some sort. And it doesn't really seem to want to scrape off or anything, so I'm stuck with a Pete Pants Kiva. But no real worries there. And the undersuit is all of this, not leather, but it's a elasticy kind of material that emulates the leather of the show suit. And it just gives a really wonderful effect that really helps with the whole feeling of it being straight out of the show. And I really like that. And it's all bunched up here because of how the armor works. I'll get to that a little bit later. But it looks extremely realistic, and that's great. Alright, so for articulation, I kind of went over the whole shoulder getting stuck problem. But it's not really too big of a hindrance, because like I said, the show kind of had suffered from the same problem. Head is on a ball joint, so it is free to move. It's a lot similar to the way the figure art joints work in the head, so lots of movement there. Kiva just kicked the camera. He wanted it to wake up. Body is full swivel. Again, sort of like the way figure arts work, but not as disjointed. Elbow right here, since it's all covered up, it's really hard to tell what kind of joint it is, but I think it's a single joint. But regardless, you got that going on there. The hands, I'll show off the hand joint right now. That's what the hand joints look like. I can't really see it because it isn't focused, but as you can see, the hand joints have a swivel right here and then a rotate. So pretty standard handness stuff, right? Righto. So these gauntlets are free to move around. They're not tied to the suit at all. They do fall off if you take the hand off. Not that that's articulation, but the thigh here is sort of difficult to feel out. but I'm pretty sure it's fairly similar to one of the figure art style thighs. So he can split like that. Obviously, he is hindered by the suit, because you can't split the suit, because that would be bad. That would be like splitting your pants. And then the upward motion is again hindered by the suit, because it kind of affirms to his buttocks. So basically, you're limited to more or less the suit's articulation as opposed to the actual figures. So I wouldn't really worry too much about the figure's articulation, because you can get a lot of movement in the leg itself. So it more or less comes down to how constrained the suit is. The ankle things down here, again, just kind of free sitting. When you sit him down, it basically, they cover the, you can see that, it basically covers where the ankle connector is, so you don't have to worry about ugly ankle joints or anything like that. So that's always pretty cool. You can raise it up so it stays, but again, then you reveal the ankle joint, and that just kind of defeats the purpose of the gauntlet being there, or anklet being there. Anyway, so I just kind of let him dangle. No real problems with that. And again, this foot is absolutely fantastic looking. I love these chains and stuff. That's just really cool. The whole design kind of hinders the side a little bit, but not too much to where it's actually a problem. You can still get a lot of range of motion. And most of this is just because of the swivel that's in here. And since I have to do it anyway to show off some of the parts, I will take a look at that. Something fell in a second. So his accessories are pretty normal, I would say, considering what we're used to with figure arts and stuff. So he comes with an additional foot. This is the wake-up foot that comes with this knee legging thing, with the wings opened, so he can do his rider kick and all that. So that goes on there, and I'll go ahead and show that in un momento. He comes with his wake-up hands, as I like to call them, his stylized posing hands. Two kind of more splayed-opened, relaxed kind of hands. And then a hand that can hold the fossils. Since I'm really bad at posing, and I'm not going to, just to show off this feature, I'm just going to lay him down because he's going to fall anyway. These are kind of difficult to figure out how to maneuver, because they don't actually like peg in or anything like that. They're just kind of there. So there is, oh, dropped it. There's a slot on the back here where the it connects to the belt, and what I like to do is just put the thumb in that area, and that will somewhat secure it. If you get it right, so it'll look something like this. That's the best way I've found to do it. Again, if you tip it over, there is a chance it might fall out. Thankfully, it didn't this time. But it doesn't look as solid as it does on the pictures on the box. I haven't quite figured out how to do this properly. Maybe because I'm stupid. I don't really know. But that's the best way I've found to get the Fussel holding hand to function how it's supposed to function. So, to go ahead and switch the feet, basically just pull, and this will come right off. The foot may come out before the actual entire unit does. And what's cool about this is that he's got an actual foot. It's got little toesies and everything. It's pretty hip. But that just slides right in. He's got like a little boot thing going on. And I'll fix that later. So this entire section slides off. And then you can see how the leather suit comes all the way down here too. So it's covering the entire body. And this just goes off to the side with the other shoe, or boot, or whatever. Take the leg piece, slide right in. The problem I have with this figure is that when you are pushing in the boot, the suit gets bunched up, and it tends to look pretty bad. Some bunches are fine for realism, but it tends to get so bunched up that it looks terrible. And then this doesn't seem to want to go all the way up either. But go ahead and peg this in, and we'll just bring this up. As you can see, it is in no way near lined up yet. He's kind of handicapped right now. So just go ahead and push him down, and then that will get it up for the most part. So again, problems in that aspect to where it just doesn't really tend to want to line up properly. So as you can see right there, we've got his cool effect boot, as I like to call it, his effect boot. And so you can splay him out, bring this one down and then this one back so he's all like ready to attack and stuff. Again, it's kind of difficult to balance these guys because they are so massive. But it looks really cool. I would have preferred a little bit of differentiation between the red in here, like a little bit more of a darker area around these embosses. That would have looked a little bit better in my opinion, but again, I guess they are on some sort of budget, even though these figures cost an arm and a leg. But it does look really fantastic. So go ahead and pop that out. Pop that back off. Put his normal leg back on. This one seems to slide on a lot better. Not really sure why. I forgot I never bothered to fix this. I'll fix. And voila. So now we're back to something halfway normal. And to change the hands, it's just as easy as changing the foot or leg or whatever. This just slides right off. Like I said, the gauntlet will fall off. There's really no way around that. You can push the gauntlet up for now and it'll kind of lock it in place. And then this hand will just slide right on. And then you can put the gauntlet back down. And there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and give his other hand the effect. Slide the gauntlet up so it doesn't fall off. Slide. Put the gauntlet down. And there we go. So now we'll do some sort of pose to close this off. As of this recording, I've yet to find a really good, thorough photo gallery of this guy. And I don't have the time to shoot one myself. But I will keep hunting, and I will attach a photo gallery to this review if I find a good one. But I make no promises because I'm having really bad luck finding really good photo galleries of these guys. My good pal Cook Sucks hasn't done this guy yet, so there's one down. Let's see, splay open, splay whatever. Spread his legs a little bit because all good action poses have spread out legs. Okay, the pose I had him in before was something along the lines of this, and that actually looks really cool, and he's actually standing on his own. But he does come with this stand, and it is a pretty crappy stand, actually. It's kind of wobbly, as you can see. It doesn't really hold in there all that well, and it's kind of lackluster, really. But it comes with 4 of these connectors. This one is the waist connector, and then these ones, I'm not really too sure what these are. There's different sizes of them that can attach around his thigh, and then this one might be able to attach around his like upper thigh, and this one somewhere else is his head maybe, I don't really know. But it comes with 3 different sizes of these connectors. I have the biggest one on there, and then there's these 3. So there's a small, a medium, a large, and an extra large, I guess. So I just prefer using the extra large bits because it attaches by the waist and I find that the most secure. Obviously you limit yourself in poses that way, but I find it the most secure to just have it on the waist. And it does help, it certainly does help, but like I said, it is kind of difficult to balance these guys out on the stands. But it certainly helps from them toppling over. So I'll go ahead and set this guy in the very back so we can get as much of him in the camera frame as possible. That's about all we're going to get. and wrap this up. So yes, these figures are extremely expensive. Kiva cost me 12,000 yen, which is about 150. But I get bunches of YouTube monies, so I can splurge every now and then. I love Kiva. Kiva's fantastic, one of my favorite designs of all time. So I had to pick this figure up, and I'm really glad I did. I was skeptical on these figures at first because they're so expensive, but they're definitely worth it. They're collectibles to the extreme. These aren't playthings. Like, I mean, figure arts, I say that about figure arts too, how they're collectible, but these are definitely collectibles. These aren't to fly around the room like Buzz and Woody and bash them against things at Pizza Planet. This is hardcore. You gently pose them and give them whatever accessories you want to and stick them on your shelf for all to be amazed at. Like I said, it's like they took Kiva and then shrank him down and set him on your desk. These figures are phenomenal. If you have the money, I definitely recommend them. However, because they are so expensive, despite how much I recommend them, it's going to be very unrealistic to say, "Oh, go buy this now," because people mostly aren't going to plop down that kind of money on an action figure. But again, these aren't really action figures, these are more collectibles. Regardless, rambling way too long about the status of this toy. So, I love it. I'm really glad I bought it. I think it was worth the price. 100%. I am addicted to these now. But obviously, these are purchases you have to make every other month at least, or at most, just because they are so expensive. You can't really just plop down and go, I'm going to buy 6 figure arts today. No, you can't do that with these. These are absolutely gorgeous figures, and I feel bad for ever doubting their awesomeness. So, excellent part of my collection, one of my favorite parts of my collection, and this guy is just fantastic. So you can check out a written review at ridersrangersandrambles.com. And hopefully check out the photo gallery attached to this review if there is one. Big props to whoever did it. I thank you. And of course, check out the Ram boards at ridersrangersandrambles.com/forums. So take care and have a great one. Bye.